Hey everyone, welcome to the channel for another Escape From Tarkov video. This time taking a look at my updated helmet guide for the 12.7 patch, picking out the best options in terms of total protection and best budget options in each helmet class. Like my updated armor and ammo guides for the 12.7 patch, I won't be going over every single detail of each helmet in the game. I will be going over each armor class, starting at level 1 and giving my opinion on which helmets are worth using, either because they offer good protection or because they're simply a cost-effective brain bucket. So with that intro out of the way, let's start with a very quick look at the Class 1 helmets and a unique option that's become somewhat popular during the 12.7 patch. To start off, the Class 1 helmets are barely even really considered armor, since they actually aren't going to outright stop any bullets that make a good hit on them. I actually skipped this class altogether in my previous guide, but there's one helmet here seeing fringe use by some min-maxers in Tarkov. The TacKek Fast MT helmet is basically an airsoft replica of the Fast MT that you can find on the market for about 15,000 rubles, which looks nice but doesn't really have any armor. However, what it does have is a high ricochet chance, meaning there's a decent chance that it can deflect a shot and leave you alive. Since the helmet accepts Fast MT attachments, some players have been making what the community has called the SlapKek helmet by adding the Slap armor plate, which increases the armor class for the front-facing side of the helmet to Class 5, which is very strong. I do see what they're going for with this strategy, but it's still a pretty expensive setup at about 100k total, so I'm not sure how I really feel about it. When it comes to the other Class 1 head armors, I would say you should just avoid using them, but it can be worth picking up a TacKek for the style points and the ricochet chance. For the Class 2 helmet options, there's currently 3 different Riot helmets available in this class, but I'm not going to waste video time going over them. The only thing I have to say for this class is just don't use them. They have no advantage making them worth using and should be left on dead scavs. When we move into the Class 3 helmets, these are the bread and butter of the early game in Tarkov, being the first class to offer decent protection and potentially stop rounds. Class 3 helmets can stop most basic pistol rounds, shotgun shells, and slugs, plus low-tier rifle rounds with low penetration. Many of these also have high ricochet chances, which can help save you from better ammo. First up, we have the SSH Steel helmet, which covers the top and back of the head with a high ricochet chance and no sound reduction. This helmet can be purchased from Ragman level 1 for 21,000 rubles and is widely used because of its cheap price and high ricochet chance. It's not the best helmet, but it is one of the best for its price point, so regardless of how silly it looks, it's actually a pretty solid choice. Next up, the 6B47 helmet is another fairly cheap, useful helmet which covers the top and back of the head, plus the ears with a high ricochet chance as well. It can be purchased from Ragman level 2 for 33,000 rubles, or traded for 2 bottles of bleach at Ragman level 1. This helmet has slightly more coverage compared to the SSH, and it's also among the first helmets you can get with night vision mounts, so it's fairly versatile and a decent choice for its price point. There is a camouflage version you can unlock at Ragman level 2 in exchange for some dog tags, which looks pretty cool but actually has a lower ricochet chance, so it's less useful. The Kiver M helmet is another one available at Ragman level 2 for about 30,000 rubles, with a face shield costing 27,000 rubles. This is one of the first helmets you can get a face shield for and is somewhat useful because of this. With the face shield equipped, you have full face Class 3 protection with a high ricochet chance on the face shield, which is quite useful. However, since you can't wear a headset with this helmet and the armor class is fairly low, it's mainly useful against low-level players and scavs. Lastly for this class, the LZSH helmet is another clone of the Fast MT, but this one has a medium ricochet chance and actually has Class 3 armor. You can get this helmet from Ragman level 2 for about 53,000 rubles, or on the market for about 30k. This helmet accepts pretty much all of the Fast MT attachments, meaning it can use the face shield, face armor, and night vision. The LZSH can be useful because you can mount a face shield and a headset at lower levels, but once you get access to Class 4 helmets, this one quickly becomes less useful in my opinion. For the other Class 3 helmets, the Ronin, the UN helmet, and the Sphera, they're each either too expensive to be worth using, or have some other disadvantage like a bright color scheme that's easy to see, so I largely avoid using them. Next up, we move into the Class 4 helmets, which include the vast majority of all the helmets in the game. Class 4 armor can block the initial shot from most pistol rounds, shotgun shells, and slugs, as well as many of the low to mid-tier rifle rounds. With all the recent ammo buffs, these helmets stop less and less different types of ammo, but there's still a large selection of useful options, and many are worth using, so I'll be taking a look at a lot of them in this section. To start this off, I'll go with the TC2001 and TC2002 helmets, which are basically identical and cost between $420 to $450 at Peacekeeper level 2 and 3. They both cover the top and back of the head, and and come with a high ricochet chance. The TC2001 helmet is the first class 4 option available at Peacekeeper level 2 and is actually a decent option for a solid price, especially with the high ricochet chance. This helmet can use night vision, and it can also attach the slap plate, which bumps up the armor class to level 5 on the front of the helmet. Personally, I actually run the TC2001 with the slap plate pretty often, and it saves me from a sniper shot often enough that I think it's worth the money. Next up, the Striker ACH HC helmet is very similar to the TC2001, covering the top and back of the head with a high ricochet chance. Both colors of this helmet are sold by Ragman level 3 for about 60,000 rubles. These helmets can't use any additional attachments, but they have slightly higher durability, making them a solid alternative to the TC2001 if you don't plan on adding any attachments. The black version is also dropped by Scav Raiders, meaning it's sometimes pretty cheap on the market. The Striker ULACH helmet is a direct upgrade from the ACH HC, adding ear protection and extra durability, plus a better repair rate. You can get these at Ragman level 4 for about 66,000 for the tan version and 84,000 rubles for the black version. Overall, I would say the ULACH is a very good helmet, combining high durability, high ricochet chance, and good head coverage. The tan version is at a very nice price point, but the black version is a little expensive for my taste. The only thing holding this one back, in my opinion, is the lack of extra mounts for night vision or a face shield. But if you don't care about that, the tan ULACH is an excellent helmet choice for its price. Next up, we move into the multiple helmets that use Fast MT attachments, so we might as well start with the Fast MT itself, sold by Peacekeeper level 3 for about $1,200 and Ragman level 3 for about 140,000 rubles. The Fast covers the top and back of the head with a high ricochet chance and has a ton of different attachments, including a glass face shield, ear armor, a face mandible, the slap plate mentioned earlier, and a unique headset. This helmet is quite good, especially with the shield or the slap plate, but it's extremely expensive when compared to the actual protection it gives. I also personally don't think the mandible is very good for its cost since it's only class 2 armor. My recommendation for a more cost-effective class 4 helmet and face shield combo would be the TC800 helmet instead, which can be found on the flea market for between 60 to 80,000 rubles and can use the Fast MT face shield. This helmet offers very similar protection at almost half the price of the Fast, so it's become quite popular for people who want a good helmet, high ricochet chance, a face shield, and headset all at once without going bankrupt. Next up, we have the Cry Airframe helmet, which is sold for about $1,200 by Peacekeeper level 4 and has the same stats as the Fast MT, covering the top and back of the head with a high ricochet chance. The airframe's advantage over the Fast MT, and what has made it one of the most popular meta level helmets, is the fact that you can equip 2 layers of face coverage on this helmet at once. First, you can add the airframe chops, which protects your ears and jaws with class 3 armor, and then the ballistic face shield, which covers your entire face. This basically means you have multiple chances for a ricochet or to stop a bullet, which is pretty awesome. The last helmet, which is a direct competitor with the Fast MT, is the Team Wendy Exfil helmet, which is also about $1,200 at Peacekeeper level 4, or you can trade 10 dog tags at Peacekeeper level 3. The Exfil is kind of an all-around slightly better Fast MT, with higher durability and a better face shield option, but less overall attachments. The Exfil has 2 add-ons that you can use. First, the ear armor that covers your ears with class 3 armor, and then the Exfil face shield, which is almost identical to the Fast MT shield, but with a high ricochet chance, meaning it's more likely to actually deflect bullets. The Fast, Airframe, Exfil, and TC800 are all useful and quite similar. It's honestly up to you whether you want to spend 200k on a kitted airframe or 90k on a TC800 with a shield for similar protection. Next up, we have a fairly new helmet, the Diamond Age Bastion helmet, which is also similar to the Fast MT, but with an interesting up armor attachment. The Bastion is dropped by bosses and sold on the flea market for 50 to 60,000 rubles most of the time. It covers the top and back of the head with a high ricochet chance, so essentially identical stats to the Fast MT. However, the Bastion has an additional armor attachment which ups the armor class for the entire helmet to class 6, which is the highest in game, and effectively allows it to block 1 or more shots from 90% of the ammo types in Escape from Tarkov. It's a very expensive attachment at over 140,000 on the market, but I've survived M995 and M62 rounds to the helmet with this on, so it can be quite useful, and you can still use night vision with this attached. To finish off the class 4 helmets, we have a few that are mainly meant to be used with face shields attached. First, the ZSH-12M helmet is sold by Ragman level 3 for about 40 to 60,000 rubles with an 18,000 ruble class 3 face shield. They cover the entire head with the shield installed with a medium ricochet chance. These helmets don't allow headsets, but they do offer one of the cheapest ways to get a class 4 helmet and face shield combo, especially if you unlock the black version after Chemical Part 4, which is significantly cheaper. The LSHZ-2D ZTM helmet is essentially a much more durable ZSH helmet for a much higher price, at around $150,000 for the helmet plus $70,000 in accessories. On paper it has some nice stats, but in practice there is so many ammo types that can negate this helmet that it kind of becomes a waste of money. You can find it on the market for cheap sometimes, but I wouldn't pay 150,000 rubles for it anymore. Finally, the Maska helmet is the last class 4 option to go over, available at Ragman level 3 for 5 GP coins or about 70,000 rubles on the market. The selling point of this helmet is the face shield, which is sold by Ragman level 4 for 3 GP coins, is class 6 armor, and can theoretically stop some big bullets. However, you lose almost all visibility when using this face shield, and the helmet itself is still very easy to penetrate, making it almost a disadvantage to use. This helmet is kind of infamous though, because the scav boss Killa wears his own custom version. So after that very lengthy section on class 4 helmets, we move into class 5 territory, which only has one option currently, the Altyn helmet, a beastly piece of gear that's become pretty iconic in the Tarkov community. Class 5 armor can stop basically all pistol and SMG rounds, all shotgun ammo, and a large percentage of rifle rounds in the game, making it very useful for PvP and one of the best overall armor classes in the game. The Altyn is class 5 armor with a high ricochet chance, and its face shield is also class 5 armor, also with a high ricochet chance, meaning your entire head is extremely well protected when you're wearing this helmet. This helmet can be traded for 6 red pliers, 5 yellow pliers, and 5 measuring tape at Ragman level 4, while the face shield can be traded for 6 dog tags or 4 plexiglass, also at Ragman level 4. They also can both be found on the market for about 150,000 rubles total. The only real disadvantage to the Altyn is the somewhat stiff movement penalties, hearing reduction, and the limited visibility through the face shield. Otherwise, it's easily one of the strongest PvP helmets, and you'll see a lot of geared players run the Altyn, especially on factory and labs. Finally, the last helmet I have to cover for Tarkov is also the least used helmet in the game, the Class 6 Vulcan helmet. As mentioned before, Class 6 armor is the strongest in the game, but despite this, the Vulcan is still not used by almost anyone. On paper, the Vulcan is great, with Class 6 armor, a high ricochet chance, and a Class 4 face shield. However, the staggering price of over 200,000 or more just for the helmet, and up to 200,000 or more just for the face shield, make it pretty hard to justify the price. If the face shield was Class 6 as well, I could see this thing being used just as much as the Altyn, but the fact is that one $3 bullet can punch through this Class 4 face shield and turn your 300,000 ruble investment into a complete waste, which makes it a hard pass for me. On top of this, the helmet has over 30% reduction to turning speed, which is a very harsh penalty. Well, that pretty much covers it for my quick review of all the different classes of helmet in Escape from Tarkov. There's a lot to cover, especially in the Class 4 helmets, but hopefully this gives you a nice basic overview of what's worth using and what's best left in the trader menu. Everyone is bound to have their favorite options, so sorry if I dissed your top helmet, but I'm going off the raw stats, the price point, and my experience using these helmets over the course of 3,000 plus hours of escaping from Tarkov. If you've got any questions or corrections, put them down in the comments below and I'll try and get to them when I can. Thanks for checking out the video. I've got links to my Twitch stream, Discord server, and Patreon page down below for anyone interested. And until next time, stay safe in Tarkov City.